Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. This episode is brought to you by Notes to Utopia, one of our newest Patreon patrons. Today, we're going to talk about Pocket Camp's 1-year anniversary celebration, Sergio's new friend, and what we expect to know about Animal Crossing between now and October of 2019. So to begin, hello Sergio, how you doing?
Hello Chewy, I'm doing pretty well. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. I drove all day yesterday to swap cars with my parents.
Oh,
and yeah, so it was a big trip. I drove 5 hours to one place and then 5 hours back. So it was a 10-hour drive. It wasn't too bad though. I listened to I guess I like animation a lot, and I didn't have any episodes of the Nickelodeon Animation podcast to listen to, but I found another one that was recommended to me called Drawn, and I just listened to, I guess, the most recent episode, which is also like a bonus episode, and so it was different from the regular ones, but I really liked it, so I'm excited to listen to that some more.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Have you been listening to any podcasts?
No, nothing besides the usual, just general gaming and Nintendo gaming ones that I like to listen.
Cool. Yeah, I listen to a lot of those. So much Nintendo gaming. Yeah, it's mostly Nintendo gaming for me.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You know what? I've been listening to Nintendo Crossing, which is a new... I guess I thought it was supposed to be a new Animal Crossing podcast-ish thing, but it's a lot less Animal Crossing than I thought it would be. Yeah, but that's fine. I'm always looking for Animal Crossing content myself, even though I create it, you know?
Yes.
Because I just got to get as much of it as possible.
Yeah, that's what we live for, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, Pocket Camp is going to be 1 year old very soon. And you know what? I was just remembering, around this time, we had already played the game because they had the Direct, right?
Yes.
And then it came out in Australia, and we both downloaded the Australian version of the game.
Yes.
Which was essentially the game.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually, it was kind of funny doing that because that was what the game was. We were wondering if they were going to add any more, do any more things, but that was just kind of what it was and what I guess it's changed a lot since then, but...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then it officially came out around the world in November, I think right before Thanksgiving, like the day before.
That's right.
Yeah, and it even came out like a day early, so everybody was able to try it out before it was actually out, which was pretty crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, do you remember... tell me about that time for you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like you said, it was like an unofficial beta testing of the game, and it was funny because Nintendo didn't say anything like, oh, don't download yet, that was just a mistake or something. It seemed like it was done on purpose, for people to try out the game and sort of point out things that they might want to fix in the future. And we had a lot of fun. It was cool to play the game before it was officially out and just get a really good head start and start exploring everything that they had. Oh, it was a lot of fun. I remember I was very nervous because it was my first episode here in Haken, and we got hit with the big news of the Direct and then the game. So we had a lot to cover for sure.
Yeah, it was right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right away, I knew I was starting this podcast and all the news would just start coming on.
Yes.
So, because they were like, oh, you know what? This guy, Chewy, he's doing a podcast. Clearly, we got to put some news out there for Animal Crossing because it's going to get hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah, it's been pretty fun. I'd say at that point, I was really into it. I really enjoyed playing Pocket Camp and trying it out, but I think I went in with the expectation that it wasn't going to be so much like a real Animal Crossing game, but just more of a mobile interpretation of what that would be, you know?
Gotcha.
So I feel like for me, the expectations were set that it was going to be a mobile game, whereas like early on, there were kind of a lot of people who were just saying, this is not Animal Crossing. This is not what I
Yes.
play and stuff like that. You even had, I'm forgetting her name, somebody famous, but she was saying,
Oh,
I
yes.
spent, she spent, I don't know, $200 on the game
Yes.
within the first day. And she was like, this isn't what Animal Crossing's about.
Right.
um, so I thought that was pretty funny. Um,
That's interesting. To me, it's like a mixed bag. It was more than I was expecting out of the mobile version of Animal Crossing, but at the same time, it definitely highlights different aspects, and it there are things in it that don't really feel like Animal Crossing, but there are other things that work very well, like the villager rotation, and you get to see everybody all the time instead of just like 10 or 15 villagers. So, it has a few nice things, and definitely the friendship level is a nice addition.
yeah, I'd say you're totally right. Like there's some things that are still weird about the game. I guess I still find it weird that you just kind of press a location to go to,
Hmm.
and then you go to like a loading screen, and then you're there. Because I feel like part of the fun in Animal Crossing is just exploring your town and walking outside. I guess there are lots of loading screens whenever you walk inside or outside of a building, but like once
Hmm.
you're out in your town, everything's there, you know?
Yes, right.
Yeah. So you can just do your thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, and one thing that is definitely gonna take some time to get used to again is inventory management, because Pocket Camp just lets you carry everything and so many things of everything, but that's definitely not how it works in the mainline games.
that's true. I was just playing New Leaf and my pockets were full constantly. And I was just like, what do I do with all of these things? Where do I put them? And it's so hard to have so much stuff, and like there's just so much to collect in the game,
Hmm.
and you just don't have space for all of it. And we need that space, you know?
Yes, I really like your idea last week about a store that sells backpacks or pouches. Oh, we definitely need something like that. I'll probably have like two pouches inside my main pouch.
Yeah, it would be really great. And I just think it would be so cool to add those things as accessories and other stuff that you can wear. Because right now, if we think about like what we can customize on our villagers, we can wear hats, accessories on our faces. We can wear shirts, pants, socks, shoes, and then we can customize like our hair any way
Hmm.
we want to, you know?
Right.
And so thinking about like the next game, Animal Crossing Switch, and I feel like we're just gonna have more that we can do to our avatars, to our own characters.
Yes.
Because right now I'm just like, it would be really cool if I could wear a necklace or a bracelet or,
Yes.
like accessorize more parts than just my face. And why can't I wear a beard and my glasses?
Right, right.
So they're just like little detail things that I feel weren't possible on the other Animal Crossing games, just because of the hardware they were on, you know.
Yes. Mhm.
But I feel like in this next one, they're gonna expand on that because of what we'll be able to do with the power, you know.
Yes.
And that's what I'm hoping, because I feel like each game does a really good job of expanding on the ideas, and this one is going to be on the Switch, which is our first HD Animal Crossing that really, it just allows for more details in the artwork that they create for the game, you know?
True. Yes.
So I just feel like there's so much that they can expand upon, and one of those things is backpacks and stuff. I want to
Yes.
wear a separate backpack that is just part of things, and I, we need options for really great storage, you know,
Yeah.
because it's already like I'm turning this refrigerator that I just bought into a leaf that fits into my pocket. I can fit a lot of leaves in my
Right.
pocket, or at least I should be able to, you know.
Right. Right.
So Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Like if you get like one backpack with one compartment, or maybe another one's more expensive and it has two compartments that
Oh,
you
that's a
can
good
put
one. Yeah.
into. And I don't know, you can think of so many different styles for your backpacks too. It could be a messenger bag, which
Yes.
I would love that. That would be
Right,
so
right.
cool.
Tote bag,
Um,
a briefcase, anything.
oh, a briefcase. I would wear that all the time when I'm going to go work at the town hall, you know?
Yes, right, right.
That's the place to wear it. Like, take your briefcase, wear your suit, and go be a professional, you know?
Nice. Yeah.
That'd be so fun. But anyways, we're getting way off topic. We're talking Pocket. We haven't even. I feel like we haven't gotten to this, but we are talking about Pocket Camp's 1 year anniversary. I guess we kind of started out with that, but we
Yes.
went off topic, which is fine because Animal Crossing is great no matter where you go. So for the 1 year anniversary, I guess I'll give you all just some details about what's going on. Have you been playing this game? Because I'm back in it, Sergio. I'm playing this game like crazy.
Nice. No, no, I was not. I did. I was tempted, but I was able to resist.
Okay, yeah, it's been fun. I've been having fun with it, and I think most of it stems from I'm playing on a better phone, so it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
take an hour for me to load one location. Instead, it takes like a couple seconds, and I'm like, oh, I'm not
Yes.
done writing this message that I was gonna send. I guess I'll wait. I had a lot of time to do other things while playing Pocket Camp in the
Right.
past. But anyways, so do you know what's going on with the 1 year anniversary? I'm gonna give you a lowdown on it.
Nice. The only thing I know that it's really really focused on Isabel, and it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got, I guess, three different things going on right now.
Oh.
One is a new Isabelle Cookie. So if you're into spending money on mobile games, if you like buying leaf tickets and buying expensive items with them, then this is for you. New Isabelle Cookie. It has a bunch of different Isabelle themed items. There's a counter, a space heater, rocking chair, kettle, mug. My favorites are the last four that I said, like the space heater, the rocking chair, the kettle, and the mug. And the look to them is essentially like you take those items and you put Isabelle's sweater on it. So the kettle is like, it's a kettle for, like tea or coffee or something, but it has a little sweater around it that looks like Isabelle, and it's pretty cute. The
Nice.
mug, the mug is just like Rover's mug, but with Isabelle's face. If you remember that one,
Yes. Yes. Ooh.
it's
Cool.
cute. I kind of want to spend money on this just for that, because I like the mugs. I think they should make these mugs so we can actually buy
Oh
them.
yes, for sure, for sure.
I'd buy a Rover mug. I'd buy an Isabelle mug. We would all buy a KK Slider mug.
Right.
Okay, so the space heater, same kind of thing. The rocking chair is just Isabelle's sweater hanging on the back of the rocking chair. So yeah, not bad. It's pretty
Nice.
cute. But yeah, I like that they just built the theme around that sweater. I think it's becoming iconic, to the
Yes,
Animal Crossing
definitely.
world. The other thing they have is a new 350 premium item, which is one of those where you put it in your campsite, the character shows up, and it's cool.
Yes.
So this one's an Isabelle themed one. I forgot the name. I think it's called Slideshow, Isabelle Slideshow.
Oh.
And it's essentially like this cute little screen, and it's a slideshow of different memories of your campsite. So it looks pretty cute. Of course, I would have to use all my Leaf tickets to get it. Which is, I don't know, it's tempting.
Yes.
Because it is, I am wondering, like, where is it getting these images from? Is it, like, generating new ones based on what your camp looks like now? Is it taking memories from, like, throughout the year? Like, do they know?
Right.
Like, is that saved in some way? I doubt it. So I don't know. I guess I'll have to ask on our Discord if anybody has gotten it, and maybe they can let us know what kind of images we get to see on that slideshow item.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, so the last thing that's going on is that there's a gardening event, and the gardening event is kind of unique this time around. because it's not exactly giving us new items or for each reward. It's giving us 1 year anniversary candles.
Oh,
And so there are items that you get, and they're all kind of like 1 year anniversary celebratory things.
mhm.
But the other main thing you get, instead of like essences or crafting supplies or whatever random things they stick in between, you're
Right.
getting these 1 year anniversary candles. And they're not really like crafting tools or anything. I guess I haven't looked through the my inventory enough to really figure out where it shows up in my inventory, but there's essentially like the game keeps track of how many of these you've gotten,
Mhm.
and then there are new, I guess, rewards that you get straight from Isabelle, depending on how many you've gotten.
Oh,
Um, so the first two were easy. Like you could get that within the first day or so, but it was get one New Year's anniversary candle and then get 10, right? And I guess I forgot what items I got, but they were all like, I don't know, like a special table or a special like celebratory dish, to a
oh,
food to
right.
eat. Um, but yeah, I think the one weird thing about it is that when you do click on it to receive this item, it loads for a little while, and then you are in the marketplace and you do a little celebratory dance with Isabelle. And it's just kind of like that twirl, and then your legs are out and your arms are
Yes.
out, and you sparks fly, and it's all jolly.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it loads for a while, does that animation, and then sends you back to your camp,
Hmm.
um, or wherever you were. I guess
Right.
I
Right.
I have only clicked it from my camp, so every time I just end up back in my camp again.
Mhm.
It's kind of long, but you don't see it too often because you have to wait and get a lot of those candles.
Right.
Um, so I guess it's not bad, but it's just like a weird choice that it has you load all the way to the marketplace just to see that one little tiny animation. I
Right.
feel like the loading screen's longer than the animation is.
Oh wow.
Um, so I don't know. I'm not. It's weird. It's just weird.
No, it does sound weird. I guess they just wanna really emphasize that Isabel is there all the time, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, and she is. She's always there. She's got your back if you have any questions. I feel bad because I feel like I never really have a reason to talk to her,
True.
so I don't. And I'm like, oh, Isabelle, I'm just like, ignoring you. Like, what happened? Isabel's kind of tragic, like, if you think about her, because how many people have just neglected all of their New Leaf towns for months now?
Yes.
And she's just there waiting hard at work. And then you go into pocket camp and you never talk to her. You're just doing all your things, and she's just there, just waiting.
Yeah, just keeping things smooth for whenever you are able to come back. She definitely does a great job everywhere.
Yeah, I may need to start talking to her again and see if anything happens. But I feel like she just gives you like the tutorial stuff, like the help menu.
Yes.
So I don't know. They need to give her a real role. And I guess that's what this is about. Like the 1 year anniversary is all focused around her. And in this sense, like, I guess it's probably nice for people to get that 350 Isabelle slideshow screen.
Hmm.
Because then she shows up in your campsite and you can talk to her like a normal villager.
Yes.
So I'm sure it's better now.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. I also saw that the game has a new icon that sort of highlights that it's a 1 year anniversary. And I believe there's also a lot of Leaf Ticket login bonuses. I believe you can get up to 150.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the other big thing that's happening. There is a new icon. It highlights the 1 year anniversary. And then every day when you log in, which we're 4 days in
Hmm.
now, for me, at least when we're recording now, by the time this is up, going to be 6 days in. So that's
Yes.
60 Leaf tickets that you missed out on if you haven't been playing. But there's still 90 left to get. So if you log in every day, you're going to get 10 Leaf tickets a day,
Nice.
um, which is a lot more generous than they have been pretty much the entire time.
Yes, that's true.
which is a kind of a bummer just because I don't know, when you look at items like the 350 special items, um I don't know, it's just so much money for one item, you know?
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, even the 50 leaf tickets is better considering like if you spend 50, you get one item. If you spend 350, you get one item. I don't know. Um, yeah, I think just overall it's a high price to be paid. I forget when I did the math, but it was like $21 for two items. Like if I
Yes.
wanted 700 leaf tickets to get the special items that were there,
Mhm.
that's $21. And I'm just like, that is more than the price of Animal Crossing New Leaf right now.
Right.
um, yeah, so I don't know. It's tough to compare it that way, but when you do, it just I don't know. I feel like it doesn't make a lot of
Yes.
sense.
Right. Right.
Yeah. On that note, though, I guess now that I've played for a while, I am getting more interested in like the custom terrains that you can get.
Hmm.
So I kind of want the birch tree terrain, but I think the reason I'm not getting it is because it doesn't do an autumn theme. Like it doesn't seem like the terrains change based on the season.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And that's I don't know.
Mm,
I want it to change based on the season, you
right.
know?
Hmm.
That's the fun of Animal
Yes.
Crossing, that it's real time. It looks like it's actually should look. So, I don't know. I'm hoping they customize that. And you know, last week we kind of talked about there being well, you mentioned there's going to be like a big update that changes the scope of the game, you know?
Yes. Hmm.
And maybe that's one of the things they'll change.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the game to make it bigger and better. Because, yeah, it's been a year, and I guess it's just time to see some new things going on.
Yeah, I heard rumors, not too sure if there's anything official just yet, but there's rumors of a new area being added, and that would be fairly big update indeed.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would add like a lot to the gameplay if we could just go to a new place and see new things and be with. Yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be cool. It was like I was saying the other day about the activities we do regularly in Animal Crossing, which are bug catching, fossil hunting, fishing, and then collecting the arts. Like those are the main things to do in the game.
Yes.
And if they just added one more, you have a whole nother collection to worry about in the museum, a whole nother set of things to do every day, and it would just add a lot, you know?
Right.
Especially to a game that's like meant to be played over a long period of time. Um, so, you know, we could look at years of gameplay for that.
Yes.
Um,
The one that I'm thinking of, the one that first came to mind would be an area where you use the slingshot to shut down balloons with items.
yeah, that would be pretty great.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I wouldn't mind that. Um, I guess I'm kind of leaning toward I'd really like there to be some like special area that you go to that is just like separate from your town and more explorative. There's more adventure there.
Oh.
There's opportunity to find new things. And I guess I don't know how that would take shape in the game, but
Hmm.
yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on with Pocket Camp for the 1 year anniversary. It's pretty crazy that it's already been out for a year. And within that year, we've gotten news about another Animal Crossing game. And it's cool. There are exciting
Yes.
things happening in this franchise. And even though it's been almost 6 years since New Leaf came out in Japan,
Hmm.
which is crazy. Isn't that crazy?
That's
This month.
crazy.
This month is
Yes.
6 years. But yeah, so it feels like people have spent a long time away from the game, and it's time to bring it back to the longtime fans, and introduce it to new fans. Like there are kids who the Switch is their first Nintendo console ever,
Mhm.
And just like all of these games are completely new to them. Like they've never experienced Mario, they've never experienced Zelda. And now it's kind of crazy that they've got to experience it when things were so good, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, it's awesome. Um, yeah, but speaking about awesome things, you have come upon a new friend.
Yes, that's right.
And yeah, I really wanted you to go over the story of your KK plush that you found.
Nice. So what I do is every now and then I look online to just to look for new or different items related to KK Slider that I don't have yet in my collection. And it had been a while actually since I searched, but I managed to take some time last weekend and I was looking around. I didn't really find anything too new. I saw a couple of new designs that I wanted for some like carry pouches for headphones and accessories. So I got those and it looked at first like that was gonna be it, but I found something on Amazon and it's something I already had, but it was very unique the way I found it. So like you said, it's a KK plush, but it wasn't brand new or it wasn't one that I didn't had. It was actually a customer return item. And I don't know who would buy a KK plush and return it, first of all. So when I saw that, I just knew I had to get it. I had to rescue this poor KK from just the peril of having been returned. That's just terrible. So I got it, and I wish that was the end of the story, but it wasn't. So it was supposed to arrive on Thursday, and I was tracking the packages to see when it was going to arrive, and it was getting really late. It was past 9 p.m. here, and I was pretty sure it wasn't going to arrive on time, and sure enough, it didn't. And it made me really sad because, the poor plush, it was returned, and then it had to spend one more day without a proper home. But luckily, it arrived the next day on Friday, and it arrived pretty early actually. So when I got home from work, I opened it up and then I showed it all the other KKs that are here and I introduced them and and now he has a nice home. He's sitting on top of my left speaker. I can see him right now. And yeah, he's where he belongs.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. I think I have that KK plush because you sent me a picture of it, and I'm pretty sure I have that same one. I believe I got mine. It was either it must have been Comic Con.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Yeah, so I think I got it at Comic Con, but yeah, he's just sitting, playing guitar, having a nice time, and I keep it on my desk at work, so.
Nice. Yeah, it was from the New Leaf series. I believe there's at least four of them. And yeah, he's official. I
Yeah,
have
that's pretty awesome.
right. I have some that are not official, but I still get those.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to get what you can find
Yeah.
with these games because they're not always available. It's crazy to me. Um, just how little, I guess, memorabilia we get for Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Um, and it's a lot better now because I've got to say,
Oh,
back in the day, I couldn't find anything. I just remember going to places like Frankensons and asking everybody if they have the Animal Crossing e-reader cards, and they're all like, "No, nobody's had those for years." And I'm all, "Yeah, but I gotta ask anyways because
right.
that's what else am I gonna do?"
Right.
Yeah. Which fun story, kind of off topic, but I recently, like I said this at the beginning of this, I swapped cards with my parents, but I
Mhm.
also asked my mom to bring back some video game boxes for me.
Ooh,
And one of them has my Game Boy Advance and a bunch of cables that hook up my Game Boy Advance to the GameCube.
nice.
So I'm gonna be doing a video at some point where I go and visit the island for the first
Oh, that's
time
awesome. Yeah.
in my town that I started during Memory Lane.
Yes.
Um, I also need to give a tour of that town because I haven't yet.
That's
And
true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't really played since I started it, which is kind of sad. I'm like, no, I didn't want to use you for one reason. So I think I'm gonna play that game a little bit more. And yeah, I think the first thing I'll do is kind of give a tour because I haven't really looked at the town myself, you
Mhm.
know?
Right.
So yeah, I'll do like a tour of that town and check out the island. But
Nice.
yeah, thinking about having that accessory, I'm like, maybe I should get an e-reader and get some e-reader cards too and do a video about that. So I don't know. There are a lot of cool things to do with the GameCube and that game.
Right. And I definitely feel like a lot of people, myself included, actually, we just missed out on the island and more, even more so the e-reader items. And so if you're able to highlight at least the island, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and that was a point where I didn't have my own money. I'm just a kid,
Right.
scraping by, and everything I get, it's food and shelter from my parents, and that's all you need.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so let's go on to our next topic. So this episode is episode 50. So we are halfway to 100 episodes, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
By the time we are in October next year, or at least like November next year, we'll have hit 100 episodes. So we wanted to talk a bit about Animal Crossing Switch and where it could be between now and episode 100. So yeah, I guess the first thing that we can talk about in this regard is the rumored direct for November. Last week we got a Smash Bros. Direct, but it was rumored that we were going to have two directs in November.
Yes.
I guess, what are your thoughts on a second direct? Do you think it's going to take place this month? Do you think it's just not going to happen? What are you feeling?
I'm feeling that it might happen, but if it does, it's gonna be a small direct. It's definitely not gonna be, I'm gonna say not more than 20 minutes, and they're gonna call it a mini direct. There's a couple of points that point towards this happening. The first one that I'm thinking of is that the Smash Direct happened on November 1st, so it leaves a lot of the month open for something else. Now, like I said, I don't expect this to be a big direct, but it's the last time that Nintendo has, like the last opportunity to promote all of their holiday games and not just Smash. They're probably not going to talk about Smash anymore. And so it's a nice opportunity to talk about Pokemon Let's Go and a couple other games. And I'm thinking they might want to highlight some of the games that we already know that are coming in 2019, including Animal Crossing. And if they do that, they might do like a highlight reel and they just show the different games. And for that reason, I'm thinking we might find out the game's title in the highlight reel if they decide to just name some games and just say, for example, Animal Crossing Coming Home and then asterisk working title. But at least that would be pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, so real quickly, I wanted to say Dragon pointed out that last week I kind of predicted that there was going to be a direct on November 1st.
Yes, that's right.
We posted up the podcast and it came out Tuesday morning when the direct was announced, but I was just like, I just want to wake up tomorrow and there will be an announcement for the direct, and it's going to be on November 2nd, and it's going to tell us Animal Crossing stuff, like Animal Crossing trailer. And I was close. I was so close.
Right.
Because I woke up and there was an announcement that there was a direct, but it was the final Super Smash Bros. Direct. But anyways, based on that, you did say it happened November 1st, and you're totally right. Like, that leaves a lot of room in the month, literally the entire month, except for that first day,
Right.
to host like another type of event. But I guess for me, I think part of me thinks that the Nintendo Treehouse that was held right after that was the rumored direct. I think I don't know. I just feel like there wasn't. Whoever heard this rumor was just like, oh, there's two things going on. Maybe it's two directs, I don't know. I guess I don't know what kind of news they get, but it just feels like that Nintendo Treehouse event that was right after the Direct, because they went into other things like Yoshi's Crafted World and showed some gameplay for that and other
Yes.
games that were coming out, and I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like they're covering games that are coming out pretty soon here.
Hmm.
There was some Pokemon Let's Go, some Diablo 3 stuff, and, Yoshi. So I'm starting to think Yoshi's like pretty early in the year
Yeah,
next year.
that's a good point.
Um, so I don't know. I feel like there is a lot of time left in November to hold another Direct, but I just feel like they covered what I feel they would have covered at the Treehouse.
True. And as far as I can remember, this is the first non E3 Direct where they had a treehouse showing right after.
Yeah, I don't really remember them doing that for anything else. It just feels like it's that.
Yeah, and that it's a really good point that you said. That whoever sort of leaked that we were gonna get two quote unquote directs, maybe that's what they meant. That they knew of two different events and they just didn't know what it was gonna be.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Um, yeah, I guess this made me think of, because I'm starting to think Yoshi's Crafted World is going to be pretty early in the year. I'm
Hmm.
thinking it might be March.
Yes.
Um, so I guess I keep track of the games that Nintendo has put out since the Switch has launched. So
Hmm.
2019 for us right now. We know we're getting new Super Mario's Deluxe
Yes.
in January. Spring is Yoshi's Crafted World and Fire Emblem Three Houses. And then the other titles to be announced are Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Pokemon Generation 8.
Yes.
And these are ones that Nintendo has come out and said they're coming in 2019. The other two games that they haven't really told us anything about are Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I guess essentially the list that I just gave I feel like that's the order they're going to come out in. I don't know why.
Oh.
But actually, I might switch Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion. But we'll get to that.
Oh.
But I feel like it's going to be New Super Mario's Deluxe in January, Yoshi's Crafted World in March or something,
Hmm.
Fire Emblem Three Houses somewhere between April and June,
Hmm.
and then after that, I don't know anything except for I know Pokemon is going to be very, very late in the
Yes.
year. I think it may take that December slot.
Yes. Hmm.
Just because I don't know. I feel like they work hard on Pokemon games. They want to make them really great, and this is gonna change things for Pokemon. Kind of like Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee are gonna change things.
Yes.
Um, like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu are just new interpretations of the Pokemon gameplay,
Hmm.
and Pokemon next year is gonna be the new it's continuing the original franchise in a way that it's never quite been played.
Yes. Hmm.
Meaning it's going to be on a home console. Of course, that home console is a hybrid console, so it's both. But I don't know. In HD Pokemon, we're going to get our first taste of it this month.
Nice.
And I'm excited to see how it takes form in the new game.
Yes, definitely. And regarding the timing, you're right because the one that I remember that wasn't either November or December were Pokemon X and Y. Those came out in October, but I remember it was a special timing because it was the very first international release. So the entire world got it on the same day. After that, you know, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun Moon, Ultras, they all came out in November. So I definitely don't expect the next mainline game. I expected, like you said, in December, if not maybe November, but definitely not before then.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things with the Switch. I think every new Nintendo game that we're getting is going to come out worldwide at the same time.
Yes.
which is going to be the first time for Animal Crossing.
That's crazy.
And that's great because New Leaf, we waited so long for the game, and then it comes out in Japan, and then it's still 7 months of us waiting for it to come out over here.
Yes.
And that's not fun.
No, and it's this terrible feeling of I don't want to see anything, but I'm going to.
Yeah, I watched literally everything I could possibly watch.
Yes.
So I'm glad that's not going to be the case in this one. I think there are going to be a lot of things that are going to be surprises still when we finally get around to playing the game. And yeah, it's going to be tons of great things. I guess I felt like I wanted to say one more thing about the possible November Direct, but I can't think of it. So we'll move on. When do you expect to see a trailer for the game?
So I'm thinking the next big direct that has trailers for new games is gonna be in March 2019, and that I think that would allow enough time to have some previews and some interviews and some details about the game, just a few ones before they really go into more detail during E3 sometime in June. Yeah, so that's what I'm expecting. I think we're gonna see the first gameplay of Animal Crossing Switch sometime in March of next year.
Okay. I think I think whatever the next direct is, that's when we're going to get a trailer. Right now, I guess I don't feel like November will get another one. It might. I think it's a possibility. But I also feel like overall, Nintendo wouldn't want to take away from the Pokemon hype or the Smash Bros hype, you know?
True.
I think they want to focus on that for this year, just because they're way below their 20 million Switch goal right now. I guess I haven't seen the updated financial stuff. I think there was some stuff kind of recently, but as of right now, I feel like they're not on track to hit 20 million, you know?
Yes.
Outside of that, I do think that they're going to hold something possibly January, maybe February. I guess I lean a little bit more toward February just because I feel like people are going to be busy with games right now.
Yes.
It could be January just because I'm sure they might want to have something before New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. Oh, such a mouthful. I feel like they might, but I don't know. That's it's just a port, you know. It's not like a huge game. It is, but it is Mario, which is huge for Nintendo. Mario's always their biggest franchise, you know.
Yes.
So I think it's possible in January, but I'm leaning toward February for the next like general direct, just because at that point, Smash has had a couple months out. New Super Mario Bros. Is out, and from there we're just gonna need to know what the schedule is for at least spring, you know?
Yes, definitely.
We'll need to know, we'll need a confirmation for Yoshi's release date, a confirmation for Fire Emblem's release date.
Yes.
And then anything outside of that, I think is just gonna be a bonus.
Right. And, I was just thinking, so we're assuming we're gonna see Animal Crossing Switch for the first time early next month, like within the first 3 months of 2019. I really hope we see a trailer. I don't think Animal Crossing is a game that you wanna show up first with just screenshots. Even, when they announced New Leaf, when they first showed it way back before it came out anywhere, we saw video of it. So, yeah, I don't think Animal Crossing. I think it demands video instead of just screenshots.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that like New Leaf, the first time we saw that game was in 2010, and it was for maybe 6 seconds or something like that.
Right.
But it was something, and it was great. And I was just like, I need to see more of this because this is beautiful. And it's going to be insane to see that all happen again, but in HD. It's going to be amazing. So I think when we do get the trailer, I'm going to expect a confirmation that the game is going to have its own direct this year.
Hmm.
Well, not this year, next year,
Right.
of course. We're gonna get confirmation that that's gonna happen, and I'm feeling that they'll give us a season, something like spring, summer, fall, or winter. You know,
Yes.
I doubt it's spring. It's not coming in spring. I can tell you
Yeah.
that. I really don't think so. Just based on Yoshi and Fire Emblem being slated for that time period already,
Yes.
they're gonna want to spread out some games, especially a big seller like Animal Crossing. I guess I'm feeling like it's more likely to be summer, fall, or winter, and I'm leaning more fall, winter.
Yes.
Yeah. So when do you expect to hear the name of the game?
Nice. Good question. So if we don't see like a mini direct, like I was maybe speculating, and that has like a highlight reel of different games, and we might get at least a preliminary title there, then I think we're gonna get it whenever they show the game, because I think it would be more impactful if we find out the official or the tentative name when we see gameplay of the game instead of just blurting it out there without reason, sort of. It would be much better to see it and to tie it together to the gameplay.
Yeah, I think so too. Just I don't know. I feel like the titles kind of connect to the world that we're in.
Yes.
Population growing. That's our first time. I feel like that phrase just captures that you're moving into this place for the first time, and it's growing. It's literally growing because it's gaining you in the population, right?
Yes.
The other thing, like Wild World, is kind of it changed the camera, how it worked, and you're not really in the acre system. It feels wild. I don't know. It gives me
Yes.
a wild vibe. City folk, that one's obvious. We go to the city.
Yes.
And New Leaf, there was just so much new about the game. Like
Right.
you weren't so much being a villager in your town. The New Leaf was that you are the mayor of this town.
Yes.
Like that changes everything.
And you're tall all of a sudden.
Yeah, you got a growth spurt. So it's pretty crazy.
Nice.
So for me, I guess I feel like the name, I agree. It's going to be tied to seeing that trailer. I think it's going to happen probably during the first trailer. I feel like
Yes.
we'll get a name. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like it's going to happen though.
Yes, and it has to be before E3 so they can do more showcasing of it during E3.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be good. My last question is October 22nd is right now probably going to be our 100th episode. It may happen sooner than October 22nd. We'll probably decide to do like a bonus episode or something as soon as we see some sort of content from Animal Crossing, you know?
Yes.
So it's likely that it'll be earlier than that.
Right.
But right now, October 22nd is looking like the day. Do you think we'll have the game before that date or after that date?
I'm going with before. So I've said before that my prediction for the actual release date for the game is September 20, 2019, and that's a Friday. And I'm sticking with it. I think that's when the game is going to be released. I don't know when we're going to find out the date, but I think that's going to be the date. And that should be before episode 100, and that's going to give us the opportunity to go crazy on episode 100 with the game being pretty much new.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Imagine it just coming out for episode 100.
Nice.
It'd be crazy.
The timing.
But I don't know. It just makes sense to have Luigi's Mansion 3 in that October
Yes, for
month. So who knows? For me, I guess I'm going to say after October 22nd. I don't know why. I just think it might be the November release.
Yes.
I feel like it makes sense to put a big selling game for that holiday season. And I don't know. I feel like they're going to hold on to it depending on what the Pokemon news is.
Hmm.
Because, right now Pokemon's slated for late 2019, and say they plan Animal Crossing to come out in the summer, and then all of a sudden Pokemon has to get pushed back.
Hmm.
Then they're going to say, well, what's our big game for the holiday,
Oh, gotcha. Yes, I see.
I feel like having two big games for the holiday is better than having no big games for the holiday.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so that's why I'm leaning that way. I just feel like November is going to be when it's going to come out. It's a nice month. It's a great month.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I always have a great time during November. But yeah, I guess I'm just leaning that way. And it's mostly just to have a backup big game for that time period,
Hmm.
just in case that the Pokemon team just can't pull it off and bring us a new game at that point.
Right, right. If that's the case, though, I really hope it's early in November because I want the game to give us enough time to prepare and enjoy whatever we need to do for Thanksgiving. I don't want to be rushing, with a brand new game.
Yeah, it'd be pretty crazy. I'm hoping. I imagine it would come out like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
just to give you some time to settle into that world. I'm jumping ahead in the calendar right now to November 2019. And, funny enough, like Thanksgiving is going to be pretty late next year. It's going to
Ah,
be the 28th, so very near the end of the month.
ooh,
So if it came out like on November 15th, that's 2 weeks before that. Um, yeah, so I don't know.
nice.
A-
I
And it's
know. I know
what were you
November
gonna say?
21st is the anniversary of the original Nintendo DS when it came out in North America. I don't know how many years that's gonna be. Let's see, that's 14 years. Wow.
Wow, that's a long time. I'm pretty surprised.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like it might be that November game. Like Animal Crossing, I gotta tell you all, it sells well.
Yes.
It's a great game for a lot of people, and it just makes sense to at least have that in your back pocket.
Yes.
So, yeah. Let's get into our final topic for today, and that is Haken's Villager Corner. So each week we ask our patrons a question, and this week's question is from Sergio. And Sergio, you asked, what is your favorite episode or moment? And I didn't specify. I guess I should have said it of the podcast. So we may get some different things here. Yeah, I guess I'll start and we'll go back and forth.
Yes.
All right, Dragon Flame said, my favorite moment was fairly recently when Sergio talked about his favorite villager moving away. I thought it was really touching. It shows how much we can genuinely grow attached to this series and the friends we make. I also really enjoyed that episode where you answered my favorite special villager question. You both came up with some really great answers and that reflected your real world selves. I now know that KK means freedom and how Reese and Cyrus can inspire reducing, reusing, and recycling.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And
those are fun.
yeah, and that reminds me, I'm not sure how much I really mentioned what happened after Alfonso left. I think I did, but I did it very briefly. The very same day that he left, somebody was at the campsite, and it was none other than Bob. Crazy Bob.
Oh wow.
Another of my favorites. And he, of course, I asked him to move in. He said yes, and he pretty much moved in right where Alfonso used to be. He moved in like 2 or 3 squares away from that location on his own, which I thought was pretty crazy. And he became my favorite lazy villager.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good. That's a good trade right there.
Yeah. Next we have Grizzly Nina, and their answer is, this may be a depressing answer, but my favorite memories are the episodes right after our big disappointing E3. The discussions leading up were exciting and full of promise, but after our Animal Crossing community was seemingly forgotten by Nintendo, your podcast became a safe haven, a place where it was okay to be a little sad and a little hopeful all at the same time. I've always wanted to thank you both for that.
Yeah, thank you. That was a bummer.
I know.
It was tough because I was so sure that it was going to happen at that point. I guess it was just a little early though, because now we know it's on the way. We don't have to be sad anymore. We just have to survive.
Right. And yeah, definitely thank you for that, Grizzly Nina. And I think the real culprit here is Smash. And I'm pretty sure Sakurai just wanted to hang on to the announcement because he wanted to show Isabelle in his game. So we could have seen it at E3, but now we know why we had to wait.
Yeah, that's true. Like if they decided to show us Isabelle within Smash back then, I think we would have gotten a trailer at that
Yes.
point.
Yes.
I think no matter what, her announcement in the Smash series and I guess the new game, I think they were going to be hand in hand the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
time.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. So Joe or Cyborg Jiro says, I loved your series on why Animal Crossing will be at E3. It wasn't, but it was announced a few months later. So that relates completely to Grizzly Nina's.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I made a convincing argument, and I'd convinced everyone and myself, and it just didn't happen then. But I was just a little bit early. That's it.
Right. Right. It was a roller coaster of emotions there, but it happens, and it's gonna be worth it. The next answer is by Alex or Coconut, and he says, Episode 32, where y'all talked about your favorite Animal Crossing holidays. I think it was the first episode I heard from y'all, and noticed y'all had other episodes, each with unique topics, and pretty much all about Animal Crossing. So glad you guys are growing with this. There's so much more growth.
Yeah, and I guess when we make this show, my main goal is I have two goals. One, that it's passionate about Animal Crossing, and two, it happens every week.
Yes.
So yeah, I hope we can keep delivering that forever and ever and ever.
Yes. Thank you, Alex.
Jam says, the episode after E3 2018 was the first episode I listened. It was nice to know that other people felt the sheer disappointment that Animal Crossing wasn't announced like I did. I never knew that an Animal Crossing podcast existed, but I came across it on YouTube, and I was so glad I did because I felt like I was listening to friends talk about something that was so special to them, like it was to me, in a way that felt like you were speaking my thoughts. The Haken podcast and Discord is a precious place. Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I guess I've been pretty happy having the Discord and the podcast to do, because I feel like it's fun having something that I can do regularly that's Animal Crossing related,
Right.
even when like there's nothing huge going on.
Right, right. We like you said, we spark the things that happen.
Yeah. So it's nice to have that, and then it's also nice to have other people to talk to about it who are also just like looking for more Animal Crossing in their lives.
Yeah, imagine. I mean, of course, we had the place, and we went there, and we made the most of it. But imagine somebody that didn't really have a community before then, and I guess that was a motivator to look out for us in Haken, and that's an interesting approach. And we are very happy and glad that we were there for you, and now we're also here for the good times.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a lot of good times coming
Yeah.
up. I can promise you that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Next, we have Sunshine, and he says, all the episodes. As an adult, so many people have told me to listen to podcasts. I tried, but I just couldn't find any I connected with until I found you on Patreon. Now I look forward to every video and every bit of content you share. Finding an Animal Crossing community brings me so much joy. Thank you for all the hard work.
Thanks so much.
Thank you,
And
Sunshine.
yeah, thank you. And I'm hoping, I mean, I'm always trying to grow what we do. And so you just spoke to me a little bit earlier about some ideas for the channel, and I love them. I'm super into it.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm glad you're sticking around and enjoying what we're making, because there's going to be a lot of it, especially in the upcoming months.
Yeah.
So our last answer is from Emily with 2 E's, and she says, I loved listening to the podcast live after Animal Crossing Switch was announced. Everyone was so happy and excited. It warmed my heart that we were all getting what we wanted for so long. I don't have a lot of friends in real life who play Animal Crossing, so it was so cool to be hyped with you guys. I also loved any episode where you talk about Animal Crossing memories, because everyone has different yet equally as heartfelt memories of playing the game or something in relation to it. Also, here's one of my favorite quotes. Chewy, you're a married man now. You can't just talk her ear off about Animal Crossing. I laughed out loud at that. Yeah, nice. I think that was pretty recent. Yeah, I think, I guess we didn't answer this question. I agree with the one right after Animal Crossing Switch was announced. I think that's my favorite episode recently. Just because that was exciting. That's a big moment for us.
Yeah, that was the most hype. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm always going to remember that one. And I feel like I went live 3 times that day, because I think I did.
Yeah.
I was live during the direct, only on the Discord. So anybody who was on the Discord got to hear it. And then I went live on YouTube right after to play New Leaf and talk about the game getting announced. And then as soon as you got back from work, and did you have internet problems that day?
That's when they began. That's crazy. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so
it was crazy because, they happened before we recorded. Somehow they got fixed and allowed me to record a podcast. And then right after they broke again. And it took forever to fix, but somehow that little window of time, we were able to record a podcast. That was awesome.
Yeah, it made an exception for Animal Crossing.
It knew.
Yeah, your internet knew. It was like, oh, Sergio just had the biggest news ever, so better give him a break.
Nice.
Yeah, so, yeah, I've got to say, that episode, it was just such a fun day. It was so great, especially after being, like, so disappointed just a couple months before.
Right. I think mine would be the one where we did talk about why our favorite characters are our favorite characters. I think, we're very vocal about who we like, and it was nice to explain why and to have a good reasoning behind it, and to like a more sophisticated reason, and just tying Animal Crossing to our real lives. I thought it was very special and very nice.
Yeah. I always look at that one pretty fondly. It's a long episode. It's episode 13. If you check it out on YouTube, I believe I have timestamps for everything. But if you do want to go back and listen to that, because I think it was mentioned a couple times now. Dragon mentioned it in his answer. But yeah, if you want to check it out, I think it is episode 13, and it's a fun one. I do really love that episode.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, join the Discord. I have a link in the description of this podcast. It's totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron, and if you do join, you can get Sergio and my friend codes for 3DS. If you do want to become a patron, visit patreon.com/ChewyPlaysNintendo. For just $1, you can support our show, get tons of cool things. I've just updated my goals. I guess not just now. It's been a little bit, but I'm getting closer to these goals, and they're gonna lead to some fun things like
nice
merchandise and posters, a calendar maybe. I have ideas. I have a lot of ideas, and none of the capital to make it happen. So, but yeah, totally up to you if you want to support. We try to make it really worth it because we appreciate your support. And if you're watching or listening on YouTube, please feel free to comment your own favorite episodes. Leave us a comment about when you think we're going to be seeing any Animal Crossing Switch news. anything you can think of, just, leave a comment. I love reading them and responding to them. And yeah, it's fun to hear from all of you. And please leave a review for the show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow. And it's funny because Jackie actually left a review as a YouTube comment on the last episode, and it's crazy, but like YouTube sees that stuff, and if it sees that people are watching and interacting with a piece of content, it pumps it out even more. So
nice.
Leave your comments. If it's a review of the podcast there, that's totally fine. It's appreciated. And once again, thank you all so much for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.